So using debt is something that most people have to make use of. When you're thinking about taking out debt, you think you're able to pay it off. Of course, life happens. Your circumstances change. You may lose your job. You may get sick, or there's a debt that you weren't expecting to arise that comes up, and that can affect all of us, of course, can't it?
A lot of us have debt of one kind or another, and credit debt, whichever you choose to call it, can be a positive thing, a tool that can help you manage the ups and downs of your economic life, or it can be a kind of millstone around your neck.
The problems associated with debt isn't just the money. If people are in debt, they're losing sleep, they're anxious, they're worried, their family's worried for them. It can affect all those kinds of relationships, isn't it? So fixing debt isn't just about money, it's about actually helping people to balance their lives in a positive way.
What we've learned is that if you can get that bit right, if you can start people paying their debts back, and we know from asking them how they feel and how they're doing in terms of paying their debt back, that once they've made that hard decision to go and seek some help and they've started on the path, taken one step or two steps, then I won't say the worries fall away, because people are always going to worry about this kind of thing, but you know, they feel more confident, they feel like they know what they're doing, they're back on track.
So I know that the government has long recognised that problem debt and what we do about it and how we balance debt and savings has been something that they need to grapple with. And they launched this scheme, the Help to Save scheme, which was particularly focused at one opportunity for people to be able to save. Obviously, people can save across the whole breadth of things that are in the marketplace.
I think, as you say, the work that you did at the University of Birmingham to underpin that with research was a kind of key driver for the government to take it up, which is great. Wonderful.
Do you think we do enough in the education space?
No, it's the short answer to that. And I think, you know, if you go into a school and you look at their curriculum, the curriculums are crowded.
We found quite a lot of evidence that teachers often found it quite difficult to teach financial education, because they often didn't have the confidence to teach it in the way that they would wish to, because they recognised that they didn't have the education themselves. And so we recommended things like actually making sure there's financial education in teachers' curricula as well.
For youngsters, it's often about, you know, teaching them the skills, not teaching them the actual, you know, work out a pension or a mortgage, because they're not going to need that for a long time. But most of them have a mobile phone. You know, have you looked at the tariffs? How do you compare the tariffs with a different tariff? How do you know you're getting a good deal? You're not being ripped off, those sorts of things. And I do think we could do more to make sure that every child in the UK has that kind of education.
So the savings element is important for everybody. Even people who are on debt need to at least think about,
I think that's right,
whether they can save even the smallest amount.
Yeah, I think that's right. Just getting into the savings habit. Now, I'm careful about saying that doesn't work for everyone, because some people have such little margins in their budget that they've just got nothing left over. But I think if they can save a little bit, and we've worked with banks and others so that where they're offering to repay debt, there's now an arrangement where they can put a tiny bit of that aside every month. You
didn't always used to be able to do that, did you? Isn't that a relatively new thing?
Exactly right. I think in the past, banks and others thought, well, you know, you owe us money, you need to pay us that back before you start saving for stuff. But I think they're now taking the long view and thinking, actually, we need to rehabilitate people, and they're much more likely to be able to be rehabilitated and back in a normal functioning relationship if they've got some resilience, and savings brings resilience, is what we know.